Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Grow Through It podcast. My name is Julia, and today we are talking all about recovery. If you listened to last week's episode, you should have a pretty good idea of the importance of mobility training and especially doing it before your workout as a warm-up. And today we're talking about the end of your workout and what to do after your workouts. So what is recovery? Recovery is anything that helps your body repair, adapt, and come back stronger after stress. Because workouts create stress on your muscles, your joints, your connective tissues, and your nervous system. So recovery should actually be part of your training, not separate from it. There are so many benefits to recovery, and I notice a huge difference when I'm not prioritizing it. Recovery improves muscle repair and growth. It gives your muscles time to rebuild stronger after being broken down during training. It also reduces injury risk. Overworked muscles and tight tissues can lead to strains. It can lead to you compensating and lead to overuse injuries. It also improves performance because if you have a better recovery, you're going to have more energy, you're going to have better strength and endurance and power in future workouts. Your body is going to feel so much better when you properly recover the next time you work out. Recovery also helps reduce soreness and stiffness. It's normal to have a little bit of soreness after a workout, but it shouldn't be the point where you can barely lift your arms or barely walk after leg day. So recovery will help a lot with that. It also supports nervous system regulation. If you are training really hard, that can put stress on the nervous system, not just your muscles. So recovery helps shift you out of that stress mode. It also prevents burnout and overtraining because constantly pushing without some sort of recovery can lead to fatigue, poor sleep, low motivation, as well as plateauing. I know for me, if I am constantly pushing myself in the gym and with my workouts, I definitely feel more weak in the gym and I'm getting worse sleep. I'm feeling tired and groggy and a little grumpy. And when I am actually prioritizing recovery and doing all those things, I am so much stronger and feel so much better. It also improves mobility and movement quality. So we talked a lot about mobility last week. So recovery helps you move better and maintain a healthy range of motion. So it'll be better for your movement quality. And lastly, it supports hormone balance and lowers chronic stress because too much training and not enough recovery can raise your stress hormones like cortisol. There are two types of recovery we're going to talk about. The first one is passive recovery. So this might be taking a rest day. I personally don't love to take a full rest day. Sometimes I need it if I'm really feeling it. I prefer to do some sort of active recovery. But if this works for you, then that's great. I just prefer not to do it because it doesn't work for my body and my needs. But a rest day is really important. And this might look like just not doing a weight training or a cardio workout. It might look like something more gentle, or it could be just fully resting that day. Passive recovery also includes sleep. I'm going to get into sleep a little later on, but this is so essential, and I've done an entire episode on sleep. So if you haven't listened to that, make sure you do, but I'll get a little bit more into it later. Passive recovery can also include getting a massage. I think this is really beneficial, especially if you are very active and working out a ton. Massage can be really beneficial, and it doesn't have to be very often. I don't go very often, maybe like 2 or 3 times a year. If you're able to go more than that, I would recommend going like once a month or once every couple months. But Massage is really great for recovery for your muscles. The sauna is another great one. My gym has a sauna in the change rooms, and I love going in there after a workout. It really regulates my nervous system and gets me feeling more calm, and I notice a significant decrease in muscle soreness when I go in the sauna. So if you have a gym with a sauna, I would highly recommend utilizing that. I don't use it enough, but I definitely love it when I do. And then the next type of recovery is active recovery. So this is my preferred method over a full rest day. This can include walking, gentle yoga, stretching, mobility work. You could do like an easy bike ride or go swimming, as well as foam rolling. So I love to do all of these. Walking especially is really great for me. I try to go for a walk every day, especially getting out in the sunshine. Now that it's getting nicer out is so beneficial in so many ways. But walking is definitely my favorite. I also stretch every single morning as well as after my workouts. And then gentle yoga is really great too. You could do just a gentle flow or a yin class. I love going to a yin class, especially if I'm really sore. There's like hips and hammies classes that are really great too. Mobility work we talked a lot about last week. That's another great recovery tool. And then foam rolling. I have been prioritizing this more so lately because my hips have been extremely tight. I think it's because I'm sitting more than I normally do. I'm doing a lot more office stuff and just sitting more. So I think that is causing my hips to be really tight. So I actually have been starting every workout with literally like 2 minutes of foam rolling my back and glutes. And it just loosens me up for the workout. It's really great. And then sometimes I'll foam roll after my workout as well. I also have foam rollers at my work. So sometimes if I have a couple minutes, I will go over and foam roll if I am feeling really sore, and it just helps me feel better instantly, but it's very good long term as well. So let's get into why sleep is so important. So most of the muscle repair happens during sleep. So when you are working out, you are putting a lot of stress on your muscles, and the repair and recovery happens during sleep. So poor sleep can slow your recovery. It increases soreness and decreases performance. I know if I get a really bad sleep, which my sleep has not been great the past month or so. It was actually last night was the first night I had a good sleep in a very long time, and I feel so good today, and my workout was really good. I feel so much more energetic and so much more happy, and that just goes to show how important sleep is. But I definitely have noticed when I don't get a good sleep, I don't have motivation to work out. I am lifting lighter because I feel so tired, and I'm just not getting as good of a workout, and my muscles are definitely more sore. So I've definitely been noticing the effects of poor sleep lately. So sleep is so, so important. Again, I did a whole episode on it and how to get a better sleep. So listen to that if you are having trouble sleeping. Let's talk about signs you're not recovering enough. Number one, constant soreness. Being sore all the time is not beneficial. It might feel good because you might think that this shows me that I had a really good workout, but it's really not necessary, and it actually decreases your performance because if you're constantly sore, you're not going to show up and train as well as you could if you were fully recovered. Number two, workouts feel harder than usual. This is a big sign that you need some rest and recovery. Number three, poor sleep. So poor sleep can cause slower recovery, but also no recovery can cause poor sleep. So it's kind of a cycle there. Number four, fatigue and low energy. And this can come from poor sleep. It can come from overtraining or overusing. And it can also come from your nervous system just being constantly stressed out. Number five, increased irritability. I noticed this with myself. I've been a little more irritable lately, and I think this mainly has to do with my sleep lately because it has not been very good. So I'm noticing I'm a lot less patient and a little more irritable over things that I normally wouldn't be. And it's because I'm tired and it's because I'm not getting the recovery that I need. Number 6, plateauing or weaker lifts. I've been noticing in the gym the past month or so because I am, again, not sleeping well and I'm in quite the stressed out state right now. I've just been struggling a little bit mentally. So I've been noticing that I'm not really lifting as well as I normally do. I'm pretty much lifting the same weights as I normally do, but I'm not noticing an increase, which I normally do after a couple weeks. And again, I know it's because of my body being stressed out. Number 7, you might have more aches and pains. Again, I've been noticing this with myself. And I promise I'm trying to recover more and I'm prioritizing it a lot more, especially the last week or so. But more aches and pains, you might feel really stiff in the morning when you wake up. You might feel more sore after a workout or after work. If you're sitting a lot, you might just be feeling really sore, and maybe it's your shoulders or your neck is really tight, and that can be from not recovering well enough and from stress. And number 8, low motivation to train. This can definitely be caused by you overtraining and not getting that recovery in because your body is going to crave that rest and recovery. And if it's not getting it, you're not going to want to work out, especially if you are not feeling good physically. Like if you are really sore or you're really tired or irritable or any of the things I just mentioned, it's going to make training a lot harder. One thing I also want to mention is there are a lot of other ways you can prioritize recovery. You can use a massage gun. We have one at the house and I love to use it. You can do red light therapy, cold plunges, infrared saunas. You can take a bunch of supplements. You can do a lot of those things, but it's not necessary. Recovery doesn't need to be expensive and you don't need to spend a ton of money doing it. The basics matter a lot more, which is your sleep, your hydration, prioritizing protein, walking, and mobility. So the basics matter a lot more, but there are other tools you can use if it's available to you. So when should you be implementing recovery into your routine? So the things that you should be doing daily are hydrating yourself, whether it's just plain water or electrolytes. I highly recommend electrolytes, especially if you are very active and you're working out consistently. Electrolytes are really going to be beneficial for you and give you better recovery. If you are just drinking plain water, it might not be hydrating you as much as you think it is. So I take electrolytes every single morning. And if I am going on, say, like a hike or doing something really intense, then I will take it during that as well. The next one is prioritizing protein. This is going to help with your recovery a lot, especially for muscle growth. Protein is definitely gaining popularity. A lot of people online are now saying eat high protein. And I've said this before, but this is the one trend that I am all for. Protein is just so essential. And I, again, did a whole episode on it, I believe. So definitely prioritize protein. Some people say you should be eating 1 gram per pound of body weight, but it doesn't necessarily need to be 1 gram. It can be 0.7 or 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. I try to get 130 grams minimum each day. Sometimes it can be a little difficult, especially being dairy-free, but it's definitely doable. And if you need some tips on increasing your protein, listen to the protein episode. The next one is sleep. So again, prioritizing sleep every day. We already talked about the importance of that. light mobility. You can be doing this daily as well as walking. And then after your workouts, you should be doing gentle stretching. Try to hit all different muscle groups when you're stretching. So every morning, it takes me about 5 minutes to do all my stretches. I probably should hold them a little longer, but it feels good to me. And I focus on all different muscle groups, my neck, my back, my shoulders, my chest, my hips and glutes, my quads, my hamstrings, my calves. I do it all because that is going to make me feel the best. Foam rolling, like I mentioned, is really great for after your workout or before your workout or both. It will hurt a lot if you are pretty tight, but it gets easier the more you do it. When I started to foam roll my glutes out, because my glutes and hips are, again, really sore, it was very painful, but after doing it almost every day, it's gotten a lot easier. You should also be refueling with protein and carbs after your workouts to give you that energy and help with muscle repair and growth. And of course, rehydrate, like I mentioned. So drinking lots of water and having those electrolytes as well. So those are the things to do daily as well as after your workouts. And then on your rest or recovery days, you can be doing, again, things like yoga, mobility, massage, sauna, or just gentle movement. I also wanted to mention that recovery isn't just physical, it is also mental. You could have stress from work, grief, relationships, finances, friends, lack of sleep, and that all affects recovery. And again, this is something that I've been noticing a lot lately because I am going through a lot and the grief has really hit recently. And it's definitely been affecting my recovery. It's been affecting me in the gym. It's been affecting my sleep, my mood. So I've definitely been feeling that lately. So if you are stressed from any of these things or you have high stress in your life, just know that it can affect your recovery and it can affect you in the gym. And even if you're not overtraining, life stress can make recovery harder because your body doesn't separate gym stress or muscle stress versus life stress. It all counts. I have done episodes more on the topic of stress and mental recovery, so you can listen to those as well. And if there's anything specific that you want me to talk about with my own journey or just with stress in general, I can definitely do that. So that is it for today's episode. I really wanted to do this episode because recovery is something I see a lot of people skip, just like they skip warming up before a workout. But those two things are going to make your workout so much more effective and help you stay in the gym long term. And it might seem boring to do your warm up and do your stretches or recovery, but it is so essential and it's going to be a game changer for your workouts. So as always, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. You can find me at growthroughit.pod. You can also use the link in the show notes to anonymously ask any questions or suggest future topic ideas. If you enjoy this podcast, I would be so grateful if you left a rating or review and follow or subscribe and share it with someone you think would benefit from it. Thank you guys so much for listening, and remember that you are worthy. See you next time.